It began as a wellness retreat, sunrise meditations, detox juices, and the promise of vibrational ascension. On Instagram, Elira Dawn called it the pathway. Every post shimmered with desert light and celestial quotes. But in late 2024, 3 followers disappeared after traveling to her rented compound outside Sedona. Their phones were found in a circle near a dried riverbed, screens still glowing with unread messages. By the time police arrived, the retreat was empty. No cars, no footprints. Only cameras still recording, streaming to her private account. The caption on the final post read, "We're leaving the grid tonight." It uploaded at 11:11 p.m. No one has seen her since. Before the vanishings, Elira Dawn was a wellness influencer, not famous but visible. Her feed mixed spirituality and self-marketing, handmade jewelry, breathwork tutorials, sunrise meditations. She called herself a light architect. By mid-2023, she had nearly 70,000 followers and a private subscription group called The Pathway. At first, the content was harmless: affirmations, dream journaling, detox recipes, but slowly the tone shifted. Her captions began referencing energetic thresholds and surrendering to departure. Comments filled with sun emojis and "see you soon." According to former members interviewed later, Elira hosted livestream activation sessions every new moon. Participants paid $222 per session, joining video calls lit with candles and desert light. She promised that once aligned, followers could transcend physical attachment. No one thought she meant it literally. By August 2024, she announced a real-world retreat outside Sedona. The flyers showed red rocks, white robes, and a tagline, "Leave behind what no longer vibrates." 17 people signed up. Most were women in their 20s and 30s, yoga instructors, wellness coaches, and artists. All had followed Elira online for over a year. Local Airbnb owners recalled seeing her rent 2 properties near Dry Creek Road, isolated, quiet, reachable only by dirt track. On October 12th, guests began arriving, greeted with herbal teas and filmed introductions. Everything streamed to a private Instagram account visible only to paying members. 3 weeks later, the posts stopped. No sunset meditations, no affirmations, only a final image of the desert horizon with the caption, "The pathway is complete." No one realized it was the last message until families started calling the police. The Pathway Retreat began on October 14, 2024. Elira Dawn posted daily stories showing sunrise yoga, ritual dancing, and frequency fasting. Her captions read like scripture: "We drink the light. We are leaving the old vibration." To her followers online, it looked idyllic: amber skies, desert winds, and serenity. But later testimony from 2 attendees who left early painted a different scene. Phones were confiscated to preserve energetic purity. Meals were limited to herbal infusions and fruit. Participants were told to sleep outdoors to reconnect with cosmic memory. Every evening, Elira led a filmed meditation she called the Departure Practice. Members wore white robes and faced west as she spoke about, transcending the illusion of the body. The sessions, streamed to her private account, each one captioned only with the time, 11:11. Neighbors from a nearby ranch noticed strange lights in the distance. One recalled hearing low chanting echoing through the canyon around midnight. No one reported it. Sedona is full of spiritual gatherings, but after October 31st, the live streams stopped. The last footage uploaded showed 12 people standing in a circle at dusk. Wind carried sand through the camera lens. Alira's voice said, almost a whisper, "This is the moment of release." The feed froze. For 13 minutes, the live stream stayed live, unmoving, silent. Then it ended abruptly. 3 days later, when a parent arrived looking for their daughter, the property was deserted. The robes were still hanging on a clothesline. The cameras were still recording, their batteries long dead. When Sedona police received the first missing persons reports, they assumed it was another wellness retreat gone offline. But the calls kept coming. By November 6th, 4 families had reported no contact from loved ones who attended the pathway. Detectives began a search of the compound at Dry Creek Road. Drone footage taken that morning showed an empty circle of mats, a burned-out campfire, and faint geometric patterns drawn in sand. No vehicles. No footprints inside the cabin. Investigators found journals, robes, and several phones arranged neatly on a table, each one logged into Instagram but disconnected from the internet. The last activity time stop was 11:11 p.m., October 31st. Technicians examined a solar battery pack still connected to one of the cameras. It contained partial video files, corrupted. Sun-bleached fragments showing desert wind, laughter, and a faint humming sound. One clip displayed Alira standing at the center of the group, arms raised, whispering, "When we vanish, we're not gone. We shift." After that, the screen cut to static. The footage was sent to the FBI's Digital Forensics Unit in Phoenix. They enhanced the audio and discovered background tones matched to a guided meditation file she had uploaded months earlier, meaning the live stream may have been pre-recorded. By then, rumors were spreading fast. Conspiracy channels online claimed the group had ascended or entered the grid. But investigators focused on a more grounded lead. A final ping from one missing woman's smartwatch, 6 miles north, near a dried riverbed. That signal lasted just 32 seconds before vanishing. Search teams followed the coordinates the next morning. What they found changed the case from spiritual retreat to criminal investigation. The next morning, search teams followed the smartwatch coordinates through a narrow canyon lined with red rock. The riverbed had been dry for months, cracked like a mosaic under the desert sun. They found what they were looking for within 20 minutes, near a shallow curve in the canyon. 6 phones were half buried in sand, still arranged in a perfect circle. Their screens were black, batteries long dead. When powered in the lab, each device opened to the same app, Instagram's camera screen. Paused mid-recording, time stamped 11:11 p.m., October 31st. A few meters away, investigators found remnants of a camp, a burned journal, a water flask etched with the pathway symbol, and a small silver pendant shaped like a crescent moon. The objects were collected, tagged, and photographed, but none showed signs of violence. No footprints led in or out of the site. Cadaver dogs were brought in at noon. After an hour, one of them alerted near a dry fissure beneath the canyon wall. Excavation revealed a shallow depression containing fragments of fabric and human hair. DNA testing later matched one of the missing followers. Lila Morin, age 29, her family had been the first to call the police. The area was sealed as a crime scene. Drone footage captured investigators kneeling in the dust as the sun began to fall behind the rocks. That image, stark, golden, silent, would become the defining photo of the case. Alira Dawn was nowhere to be found. Her last confirmed signal came from a prepaid hotspot found 40 miles away. Abandoned along Interstate 17, her digital trail ended there. To this day, she has not been located. 2 women made it out. They were found weeks later, dehydrated but alive, walking along Highway 89 toward Flagstaff. Their names were Sierra Vale and Marina Cho, both early members of the Pathway. They told detectives they had left the compound. On October 30th, one day before the live stream ended, in recorded interviews, they described the final week of the retreat as a countdown. Alira had spoken constantly about crossing into light and ending the density of flesh. Meals became less frequent. Group meditations stretched through the night. She told them they were approaching vibrational zero. When Sierra asked what that meant, Alira smiled and said, "You'll know when the body doesn't need breath." Both women said they grew frightened but were too weak to leave. It wasn't until Alira began collecting their phones and ID cards for ritual shedding that they fled during dawn meditation. Barefoot across the sand, they said Alira didn't chase them, she only watched, murmuring, "You've chosen to stay behind." Detectives noted both survivors displayed signs of trauma, confusion, and deep fatigue. Forensic psychologists later described the Pathway as a parasocial ecosystem, where constant digital affirmation blurred into spiritual dependence. When asked why they followed her for so long, Marina said softly, "She made us feel seen. That's what everyone wants online, to be seen." Neither woman has returned to social media since. Both testified in early 2025 but declined further interviews. Their statements remain the last confirmed account of Alira Dawn alive. For investigators, their words reframed the story, not as a mystery of disappearance, but as a study of faith transformed by influence, where devotion became content and content became control. By spring 2025, the Pathway was officially listed as inactive. The Sedona property had been reclaimed by the desert, sand through the floorboards, vines curling around broken cameras. The investigation remains open, but no further bodies were found. Alira Dawn's whereabouts are still unknown. The FBI concluded that the group's structure was digital before it was physical, a following built not on proximity, but on attention. Every live stream, every activation session created a loop of belief that fed itself. Followers paid to watch her find meaning, and when that meaning turned fatal, the algorithm amplified it. Digital forensics uncovered over 3,000 archived messages from the Pathway's private chat logs. Most were ordinary affirmations, emojis, praise, but the final entry, posted minutes before the last live stream, read, "Tonight, we disconnect to connect forever." That phrase reappeared weeks later as a trending hashtag disconnect to connect. Thousands used it without realizing its origin, attaching it to sunset photos and travel vlogs. The cult's last message had become an aesthetic. Media psychologists call it the echo effect. When trauma re-enters the feed disguised as beauty, they note how the digital ecosystem doesn't erase tragedy. It recycles it stylized and shareable. In Sedona, locals still speak of the red rocks glowing unusually bright during monsoon season. Some say it's reflection, others memory. Either way, the pathway's legacy lingers, not as faith, not as disappearance, but as proof that influence can become devotion, and devotion can vanish in daylight. The final report from the FBI closes with a single line. Case pending, leader remains at large. Digital presence detected intermittently under new aliases. And just like her last caption, she's still somewhere between the grid and whatever waits beyond it. If you thought the horror ended here, you're wrong. What other dark rituals and forbidden practices are still being performed in secret? Dive deeper into the chilling world of haunted ceremonies, banned footage, and eerie folklore that refuses to stay buried. Click on the playlist to uncover terrifying recordings, lost evidence, and disturbing stories they never wanted you to see. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for weekly uploads of spine-tingling footage and dark tales that echo from the shadows. This is the Forbidden's Archive, where the hidden truth and haunting evidence come to life.